Preparations are underway at major channel crossing points for new automated European Union border IT system due to start this October, despite fears of queue chaos for holidaymakers under the entry-exit system EES. Non-EU nationals, including Brits, will have to register biometric information the first time they cross the border. So the new channel crossing from EU now to Britain, it means that non-EU members will have to register their biometric information the first time they are crossing the border, including British citizens. This has prompted concern that might be huge delays as a result. It's only normal that when they are applying these new systems, it's going to be causing a whole lot of delays and there is going to be a whole lot of chaos. It equally means that it creates room for them to employ more people. Yes, so to be able to facilitate the controlling of this crossing and all that. But tens of millions of pounds are being spent on equipment and processing areas at Dover's ferry port, Eurostar London St Pancras terminals, and Eurotunnel's Folkestone site. Dover plans to process coaches separately to cars and eventually reclaim a dock from the sea to create more space. So this is very good. It means that a whole lot of things had to be done. It has to be adjusted. They needed more hands and they needed to create more space to be able to facilitate these border controls, that people don't have to spend much hours because it's not going to be funny, especially for holiday makers and all that. Eurostar will also expand into new areas of St Pancras station to fit in new kiosks. People taking flights will provide the biometric information when they land at European airports. So if gradually the Brexit laws and all that is gradually setting in, because you can see that they are taking more measures to control the borders. And you know, this is an election year. In most countries there's election, and at the moment immigration is what is in every country's lips and every politician's lips, because they need what they can get in talking to their citizens in order to win new voters, in order to get the numbers. However, Dover's ferry port, Folkestone and London St Pancras, an agreement of dual border control means French border officers currently check and stamp passports as people leave the UK. So you see, at Dover's ferry port, Folkestone and London St Pancras, an agreement has been reached between France and Britain that the French border officers currently can check and stamp passports as people leave the UK. The new EES process will also take place on British soil at these sites. So it's a two-side border control, meaning that the French will be controlling their own side of the border and the Britain will be doing the same from their own side of the border. Passports will no longer need to be stamped, but fingerprints and a photo will need to be taken. So it means that your passport will no longer be stamped either on the French side or the British side, but your fingerprints will be taken and your picture will equally be taken, just for the records. Travelers will also need to answer some questions about their journey. That is very clear, as the registration process will need to be done in person at the port or station. There have been repeated warnings of bottlenecks as a result. The UK Foreign Secretary David Cameron recently added his voice to the concern, telling a committee of MPs he was really worried about long delays. It's only normal that there is going to be long delays when they fully implement these new border controls by October this year. So it means that anybody who is traveling through either from the French side or the British side, you need to at least plan that you can have a delay of about 45 to 90 seconds to a couple of minutes or more per person when registering for EES. By summer next year, the hope is to relocate that car processing to the western docks too. This relies on an old dock being filled in to create more land. The port plans to create more holding space around the port by September 2027. So you see, they are already planning ahead, and by 2027 By next year summer they are going to create more space, and by 2027 they should be able to create more space. So it means that if you're traveling through any of these journeys, before you engage in this journey, make sure you get information, feed yourself, and do the necessary things to avoid unnecessary delays, be it on the French side or the British side, so that you can save yourself some stress, that when you get to any of these borders you will have free passage, or you can easily cross the border easily without having to do these documentations at the port, which you could have been able to do it in your comfort zone at home, doing it relaxed and with lesser hurdles rather than doing them at the stations or at the airport.